Tonight, Madonna live for the full hour and your phone calls next on Larry King Live. Special treat tonight, an hour with Madonna. If we have to tell you who she is, you have severe problems. How did you get that name? Why are you a one-name person?
Well, I was born with that name. I was named after my mother, and I guess when I started making records, Madonna Ciccone seemed too long and complicated, and I just got stuck with Madonna.
What age did that start?
The one-name deal? I guess when I was about 23. So I had two names until the age of 23.
But it took a lot of guts, right, to call yourself one name, making a first record?
No, it seemed completely natural. I thought that it means so many things that I just felt like it was a very good stage name, and everybody actually thought that it was a theatrical name that I took on, so.
It works, obviously.
Yeah, it's a name to live up to.
Were you a singing kid? Were you a kid were you in a glee club?
I was more of a dancing kid than a singing kid. I mean, I sang in school choirs and I sang in school musicals, but I was much more interested in dancing than singing.
What happened with you? Still dance, right? Dance is part of the act.
Absolutely, but when I left Michigan and I came to New York, that was my goal, to be a professional dancer. And I sort of fell into singing by accident, in a way. Well, I danced in a lot of companies in New York for years and realized that I was going to be living a hand-to-mouth existence for the rest of my life.
Companies meaning Broadway shows, Guild?
Oh, no, modern dance.
Oh, troops.
Yeah, modern dance. And, it was a really hard living. And so then I decided to start going to off-Broadway auditions and Broadway auditions, mostly as a dancer. And I started singing. I had to sing for the auditions. And then, people would hear me sing and they'd say, hey, your voice isn't bad. And I'd say, oh, really? I mean, I never had any training. I never wanted to be a singer. That's not how I started out.
Would you rather have been
a dancer?
Yeah.
No, I'm quite happy with the way things have turned out. I mean, I incorporate...
Wasn't dance paid as well?
I'm glad that it turned out this way, because as a singer, I can use all of my dance training, and I think that singing is much more of an emotional expression.
Are you a singer who dances and acts, or are you an actor who sings and dances? Who are you?
I don't know.
What are you? How do you think of yourself first?
That's hard to say. I mean, I think of myself as a performance artist. I hate being called a pop star. I hate that. And I don't know. I mean, I guess since my original training was dancing, so I think of myself primarily as a dancer.
But a performance artist is pretty good. It covers
I like that because it covers everything.
Covers acting, certainly.
It covers everything, and we have to act all the time, don't we?
Have you? Yeah, don't we? Have you enjoyed all the fame you've gotten? Obviously, you wanted it, right? You don't choose this business without wanting to be well known, one would think. I don't want to presume that. Did you?
That's true, you don't. But on the other hand, before you're famous, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And you don't know until you're in the middle of it what you've sort of asked for.
What's the worst thing about it?
The worst thing about being famous? I think it's what everybody says, the lack of privacy and the idea that you're not really allowed to make mistakes, and everything that you do is viewed under a microscope.
So therefore, do you hide?
Well,
as, say, Mr. Presley did?
He hid?
Well, he hid. Jackie Gleason told him, don't hide or you're going to be lonely. Go out on it. Go out.
Oh, no, I don't hide. I definitely don't hide. I mean, I go out. I go for walks. I go to the theater. No, I just...
Do you like or not like being recognized?
If I have a pimple, I don't want to be recognized. I mean, really, it depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes you want to go for a walk and you don't want to be watched. You just want to be anonymous and blend in. Especially when I travel, I feel that way, because I can't really go out and see a city the way other people can, and I miss out on a lot.
You can't be a tourist.
Yeah. I like to be the watcher, not the watchee.
What's the best thing about it?
Free clothes.
You get free clothes.
Yeah. It's great.
Designers give you clothes so that you'll wear it to the
To
Grammys.
everything. To this interview.
They gave you this.
Yeah, I'm wearing this, free Gucci leather jacket.
And to Gucci, that's worth it.
Yeah, but it's a privilege, it's a perk. It comes with, the territory, but it's like we work the clothes. Right?
Were you a poor kid?
I won't say that we were poor, but I would say we were lower middle class, and I come from a really big family, and
8 children.
just 8 children.
You were the oldest?
No, I'm the oldest girl, and I have 2 older brothers.
Do you like big family?
Yeah, I do. Do I want to have 8 children? No.
The best thing about you growing up, you didn't have a lot of money. What I'm getting to in dealing with money is, what's it like to not have needs financially, where you can buy anything you see in the store?
Well, the thing is, I have such a sort of puritanical middle-class upbringing that I still don't really go shopping and buy anything I want. I'm just too reserved for that.
You still stop on a page if it says sale?
No, I'm not into like things on sale. I don't go to the sale rack, but I'm also I wouldn't say I'm decadent in my spending. I'm careful.
Even though you can spend it, you
Yeah,
don't spend
I kind of forget that I have money sometimes.
it. You've had an unusual life.
I've had an incredible life. I'm truly blessed.
On the base of it, it's much more pluses than minuses.
Absolutely. I mean, we were talking about fame earlier, and there are bad things about it, but I wouldn't trade my life for anyone's.
The marriage to Sean Penn, it got so much attention, and knowing him, he didn't like that.
No.
Did you like it? You were in the tabloids every other day.
No, I didn't like the attention that, the focus on the state of our marriage. I like attention when it's about the work, but not about relationships.
And he didn't like it either.
No, he hated it. No.
Are you friends?
Yes, we are.
Are you happy for how his career's gone?
Oh yeah, I think he's an incredible actor, and I think he's done very well. And I'm honored to know him.
So that part of your life, while it may not have ended the way you like, was it a plus if you look back and say, I'm glad I had that experience? Some people would, some people wouldn't.
No, I learned a lot. And, while it is, I'm not supposed to move my arm.
No, only if you move your arm, we hit the mic off the new Gucci leather.
Of course, it makes so much noise, it's Gucci leather. No, the thing is, I learned a lot. He's an incredible human being. He's intelligent, he's talented, and even though, things didn't work out for us in terms of our marriage, I don't regret marrying him for a moment.
How about being a mother?
I certainly don't regret that.
I mean, is it all you thought it would be?
It's more than what I thought it would be.
Now, the press, and I hate this, they all refer to it, you were out looking for someone, you would deliberately wanted to pick a father, was almost like, was any of that true?
Absolutely not. I had a relationship for 2 years with Carlos before I got pregnant, and I was madly in love with him, and it's a ludicrous accusation. I don't know where it came from. But it's not fair. It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to him.
And is he a good father?
He's an excellent father.
Sees the child, that's his dad, that's her daddy.
Oh, yes.
What do you like best about motherhood? You had it late, right? You were 37.
38, actually, when I gave birth.
Yeah.
What do I like best about it? Every day I'm in complete wonderment of her, and I love being woken up in the morning. I love her coming in the room and kissing me and waking me up. I love looking into her eyes. I love watching her grow. I love watching her absorb life around her.
As you see her, she's rather pretty.
Oh, yeah, she's gorgeous. if I do say so.
But you also have a life of flying here, flying there,
Yeah.
being on stage,
Yeah.
being
well,
demand. I mean,
so far she goes everywhere I go.
what are you
And
going to do when she goes to school?
Well, I'm going to stay in one place. And I'm going to work from, when she's in school, starting at the age of 4, I'm not going to travel while she's in school. And if they have to go somewhere for a weekend or something like that, I would leave her. But I don't want to take her out of school, and I don't want to be away from her for any extended period of time.
Is she going through terrible twos?
Yeah, lots of tantrums. Yes. She has two things that she sort of like, if she can't have, she throws herself on the floor and
And
starts.
so we give it to her, or don't
No,
we?
no, we don't give it to
That's
her.
Midwest, we don't give it to her.
No, we
Jews,
do.
we give it to her.
Really?
What else? Why would you go?
You
nut-
can't. That's not good. Then they
Yeah,
won't.
my wife tells me that's not good. But how do you not? How do you not? A child is pleading for something.
Because you have to have discipline. You have to teach them discipline. You have to show them who's in charge. If you give in to them every time, they're going to run your life. Come on, Larry.
Isn't it hard not to, though? Truth. Especially when you get a little old. I don't mean 38
Listen,
years
I'll
old.
give in when she says she wants a piece of sugarless gum, okay? Then I'll say yes. But, she can't watch TV, and,
She can't watch TV?
no, she won't be watching this interview.
Why can't she watch? She
Because
can't watch.
Because I don't want her to get addicted to it. Kids get addicted to it. They become mesmerized.
Barney?
They stop using. No. There's no Barney in her life.
No, Barney.
No.
That's like mean.
No, it's not. I didn't watch TV when I grew up. She likes to read. She uses her imagination. She's very verbal. She has an incredible memory. All those things I don't think she would have if she watched
Do
TV
you,
all the
do you
time.
ever feel when you see Barney or hear about him that you're depriving her? I'm only kidding.
No, I don't get it. That big purple thing? I don't get it.
Neither do I. It's a big purple
Is it
thing.
a purple thing? Right, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Is it a
it's a
yellow
big
thing?
purple.
No, that's Big Bird. Okay.
We'll be back with more of Madonna. You learn something new every night on this show. Don't go away. And when people think of Madonna, they think of lots of things. Singer, actress, talent. They also think sex. And that was something you promoted, didn't you? I mean, you wrote a book about it.
Well, I didn't write a book about sex. I wrote a book I published a book that basically was sort of an ironic, tongue-in-cheek, sticking my tongue out at society photo essay.
Take that.
So there.
Okay. Well, it worked, obviously. It sold and people reacted
It
to it.
pissed off a lot of people, too.
Yeah. What did it do? Did it affect your career at all?
Well, probably. I mean, everything I've done has affected my career.
And negatively? Do you think people said, boy, you shouldn't have done that?
Yeah, I think that there were a lot of people that were freaked out about it. Yeah.
What about your daughter when she grows up and gets to see it?
Well, she sees my naked body almost every day. I don't think she's going to be freaked out about it.
You don't think it would bother her?
No, not at all. And besides, if you really read it, and you know me, and you know my sense of humor, it's not meant to be. It was never meant to be this like, oh, this is the hottest book of the most incredible sexual fantasies. That's not what it was meant to be.
It was a parody in a sense?
Yeah, it was meant to be tongue-in-cheek, and I think she'll understand it. I'll explain it to her.
The thing that you're always linked with many men, do you like that, like famous men? People think of you and they think of Dennis Rodman and Warren Beatty and...
I've gone out with as many not famous men as famous men.
But do you like that linking? Is that you're very involved in making it? Is that good for the career, that to be known that you're out with someone famous?
I didn't need any of those people to help my career. And quite frankly, I don't think they did. I think that everything I've done on my own. Sometimes you can say to yourself, well, it's easier to be with someone who's famous because they're not freaked out about having their picture taken, and they're not freaked out about, being written about and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's hard for everybody. And, famous or not, it's difficult to be in a relationship with anyone that's in the entertainment business.
Do you want to marry?
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Why?
Well, Because sometimes I ask myself, what does marriage mean? What is it exactly? What's the point of it? It seems like a really
Been a nice tradition, though, isn't it? If it's just a tradition of bonding. And
I certainly am a romantic, and I believe in true love, and and the whole, finding your soulmate and all of those things. But I just don't know if the whole marriage thing. I mean, what's the point of it?
you
Really?
don't see a point.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know how I feel about it. I'm really conflicted because there's a part of me that thinks that it is like a sacred ritual and it's a beautiful tradition, and then there's a part of me that thinks that it came from a time when it was a contract that sort of a woman entered into when a woman wasn't capable of taking care of herself and she needed a man to take care of her, and so I have a lot of mixed feelings about it.
The Catholic part of you, though, probably wants to, right? I mean, you
Catholic part of me, and I do have an old-fashioned part of me, the romantic part of me, but
it's not that. Supposing you met someone, you fell in love, and he wanted to get married.
well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Good answer. We'll be right back with more Madonna. We'll be taking your phone calls later. Are you interested in politics, by the way?
Oh, yes, very.
Do you support candidates? Are you outspoken?
To a certain extent. I mean, when I'm interviewed, or I certainly support President Clinton.
What do you feel he's getting?
The short end of the stick? Yeah.
Right. But he caused it, though, didn't he?
Well, he caused it.
Well, I mean, no act, no follow-up.
Well, that's true to a certain extent, but I mean, he's not the first president to have, an adulterous relationship. So I think it's a combination of his behavior and, the lynch mob mentality of the Republican Party.
Are you surprised that the public is in his corner?
No, not at all.
Because we're supposed to be very puritanical about sex.
Well, we're not, are we? And thank God. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that, whether you think he did the right thing or the wrong thing or whatever, I think most people just want to get on with things and, let's get back to the important issues. And I think people are really sick of it.
The movies. Enjoy doing films?
Yes, I do.
Like stage too? I saw you do. Have you done other stage other than...
I did 2 plays. I did a David Mamet play and I did a David Ray play, and I loved doing both of them, and I'd love to do another play. I think performing live is far superior to filming. Absolutely.
So you'd rather be in a theater?
Yeah, I would actually.
Was Evita difficult?
Oh, yes, that's an understatement.
Because?
Well, it
Crowd
was difficult.
scenes.
It was difficult on every level. It was difficult because we were, filming in Argentina, and we were making a movie about a person that was a very controversial political figure. So there were, mob scenes about people who didn't want us to make the movie, and mob scenes about people who wanted us to make the movie, and then the heat and the thousands of extras, and we were moving around the world to different continents, and I was pregnant, and it was a long shoot, and we were making a musical. I mean,
was it tougher that it was kind of an opera? There was no spoken word in there.
Not really, no. And it was. I think that Alan really was. We were all doing something, and we weren't sure what we were doing in a way. Alan Parker, yeah. I mean, I think everyone believed in what we were doing, and everyone was really passionate about it, but no one's ever done a movie like that before, so it was a risk.
Were you surprised at how well Banderas sang?
I was very surprised, but he has a lovely voice.
Did you like working with him?
I loved working with him. He's great. He really is.
Good friend?
Yes. Great actor, great singer, charming man, very generous. Yeah, he was great.
You did another movie that everybody that I know liked that didn't do well.
Which one?
Well, you were the murderess.
The what?
You were a murderer.
Oh, I think I've been a murderess in a couple of movies.
No, with...
Oh, yeah, Body of Evidence.
Body of Evidence with Willem Dafoe and...
And
Ray.
And no, wait a minute. My co-star in Speed the Plow. Oh God, Joe Mantegna.
Joe Mantegna.
Yeah, he's great too.
So films would be secondary to theater, though. I just want to.
Well, just in terms of the enjoyment factor of doing it. But you know, I would love to make another great film. I haven't made a movie since I did Evita because I haven't really found something that I was as passionate about. But I am going to make a movie in a couple of months.
Dick Tracy fun?
Oh, that was fun. That was fun, for sure. I had a really good time on that.
And you like Warren?
I do, indeed.
Me too. We'll be back. Not in the same way. Yeah.
Maybe in the same way.
Maybe in the same way. We'll be back. We're going to include your phone calls from Madonna. Don't go away. We're back with Madonna. We're going to go to your calls momentarily. She's our guest for the full hour. Her album, Ray of Light, has already gone triple platinum. It's included in the Album of the Year and Record of the Year as well for the Grammys. She has 6 Grammy nominations, and she will sing Ray of Light as the opening number at the Grammys. In February, she's on the cover of the latest edition of Harper's Bazaar magazine with her new look, that of a geisha. Is that the way you describe this? Is this a geisha look?
Geisha?
Geisha?
Yeah, inspired by.
Do you, looking at all the pictures and the videos, you go through lots of changes, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not?
I mean, most people change, but not dramatic. You go dramatic.
Well, that's why I like to call myself a performance artist, because what I do is I sort of like just collect ideas, you know, whether it's paintings or film or literature or a character in history. I like to sort of appropriate things, and I don't know.
So you'll get tired of this in a while? Is tired a good word? You'll look in the mirror and say, I don't like this anymore. I want to be blonde. I want to be Hillary.
Hillary?
She changed
No. Does she change her hair a lot?
She does.
Well, she doesn't have the, I mean, because I'm an artist, I feel like, you know, I mean, I have a lot more freedom to do whatever I want, be whatever I want.
But I mean, is it ever a whim? Do you ever just look in the mirror and say, changing today?
Yes, I do that all the time. Absolutely. And, you know, after you get you make several videos, you see yourself on TV, you do several photo shoots, you kind of get sick of it. You have to move on.
Let's include some calls from Madonna Cleveland. Hello.
Hi, Madonna. I was wondering, what do you see yourself doing in 10 years?
Everybody asks me that question.
Yeah, at 50? What are you going to do at 50?
Well, I hope that I'm, you know, I'd like to have more children, so hopefully I will be enjoying my family. And I mean, I don't know. I'm sure I'll be an actress. I'm sure I'll be writing music. Who knows? Maybe I'll have an art gallery. I have
Do
no
you
idea.
see yourself playing character roles?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
Which would not bother you at all, not to be the femme fatale?
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
No effect?
Well, I mean, what's wrong with a character role?
No, because some people always want to assume that being the lovely part. And
Well, I'm not always going to be lovely. Let's just face that fact.
we do age.
Yes,
Why
we
did you
do.
name your daughter Lourdes?
For
That's
several
a place,
reasons.
right?
Well, yeah, Lourdes is a city in France, and it's a city of healing. There are healing waters there. It's a place where miracles occur. So, for that reason, because she was a miracle, and is a miracle, but also we call her Lourdes, and that she's half Cuban. That's a very popular Cuban name. So,
Oh, really? So in Cuba, it's common to have the child.
yeah.
What's her nickname? Lordy?
No, Lola. Lola, I know. How did we get that?
That don't make any sense.
Well, because I was also a big fan of that name, Lola.
Whatever Lola wants,
Lola doesn't
doesn't get.
Yeah, that's exactly. No, well, Lola Montez, have you ever heard of her?
No.
She's a famous, well, she was an infamous woman. She brought down the King of Bavaria. You never heard of Lola Montez?
When did she do this?
In the 1700s. She,
An early Lewinsky.
no.
No.
She was, no, come on now.
I'm only kidding.
She was a dancer. She had some skills. No, but she was by birth she was Irish, And she married. It's a long story, but it's a very interesting story. There's a movie called Lola Montez that you should rent and watch. It's pretty fascinating. But she completely reinvented herself, and because she married this guy in India. Her parents married her off at a
So
young
you were
age.
leaning toward naming your child Lola?
Well, I loved that name, and I loved the name Lourdes. So I named her Lourdes, and I call her Lola. So go figure.
Now tell me about Kabbalah,
What do you want to know?
how your interest began in it. This is a... Now, I'm
The
Jewish.
mystical, it
and
is
I
the-
don't remember anything learning about it when I was a kid growing
Because
up.
they don't teach the Kabbalah well, it is considered traditionally the only people that are supposed to learn the Kabbalah are men, and they have to be over the age of 42. So, because that is
So
considered...
this is a sect of the Orthodox.
Yeah, traditionally. But, I mean, its roots are in Orthodox Judaism. But I think historically, I think a group of rabbis and, scholars broke away and said, look, if this information is so enlightening and so important and can help other people, why are we limiting it to teaching it just to men, Jewish men, who are past the age of 42? So people, teachers, started kind of branching out and opening up centers. And
What attracted you?
a friend of mine who's Jewish but who isn't very religious was going to these classes, and she kept coming back and telling me about them and telling me about this great charismatic rabbi and these great stories, these fables that he would tell, and how moving they were. And I could never, I sort of went in one ear and out the other, and I could never figure out what she was talking about. And so finally, out of curiosity, I went to a class in Los Angeles. I was about 6.5 months pregnant, and I was very moved by it. And it didn't really matter that I was, raised a Catholic or wasn't Jewish, and I felt very comfortable, and I liked being anonymous in a classroom environment, and it was nice learning.
So do you feel now you are an
An honorary Jew.
honorary Jew, or are you, is there a term for being, are you a Kabbalan?
I'm a Kabbalist. Yes, I'd like to. I mean, there is definitely a Kabbalistic approach to life, or a Kabbalistic point of view. But it's not different than a lot of other teachings. I mean, I've studied Hinduism, I studied Buddhism, Taoism.
You believe in a
Catholic-
supreme being.
Absolutely. But I also believe that all paths lead to God.
We'll be right back with more of Madonna, more of your phone calls. Don't go away. We're back with Madonna, Houston, Texas. Hello.
Yes, Madonna. I just wanted to ask you, for all that you've done and accomplished, how would you like to be remembered, or what legacy would you like to leave behind?
I would like to be remembered as a good mother, first and foremost.
Not a bad idea. Lawrence, Kansas. Hello.
Hi, Madonna. I was just wondering, what do you find to be your biggest challenge in being a single mother?
That's a very good question. A lot of people face it.
My biggest challenge was, really just balancing my life and finding time to, spend enough time with my daughter and really be there for her whenever she needs me, and also to make myself happy and in my career and continue working and run my businesses, continue, nurture my friendships, have a relationship, just that juggling, that
It is a daily juggle, is it?
unbelievable.
Are there
Yeah.
times you say, I wish there were a man
Yes.
here all the time?
Oh, yes. There are lots of times where I just want to go, I want to hand the baby off to somebody,
Do you think it's harder to get a man involved when you have a child? The man might say,
No.
in other words, we don't have to throw a male benefit for you, right, to get guys interested. You don't need help.
No.
No. Tampa, Florida. Hello.
Hi, Madonna.
Hi.
My question is, who were your musical and dance influences when you were growing up?
My musical influences, wow, they ranged from Karen Carpenter to the Supremes to Led Zeppelin. And those are my musical influences. And dance, Martha Graham, Rudolf Nureyev.
Were you a good ballet dancer?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I was a good dancer, but the problem is that to be a really good ballet dancer, you have to start when you're 7 or 8, and I didn't start ballet till I was 12 or 13, which is considered over the hill, really. I was a good dancer, but
When
know.
you see like an old Fred Astaire movie and he's dancing with Ginger Rogers,
Oh,
do you say to yourself,
heaven.
I could do that?
I can do that.
That's your kind of, you could dance.
Absolutely. No
So
problem.
if Astaire were around now, you'd dance with him.
I'd be dancing on the walls.
We'll be back with more of Madonna on Larry King Live. Before we take another call, is this the most Grammys you've ever been nominated for?
Definitely.
And the biggest Grammys you've ever. You won 1 Grammy years ago, right?
I won a Grammy, but it wasn't really record related. It was more like a long form video or something. So,
You nervous?
I'm nervous about performing. I'm not nervous about the whole award thing. I mean, I'm excited. I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Your friend Rosie's the MC. So,
Yes, I'm very happy about that.
You're the opening act.
Yeah.
Right? Does
Yeah.
that give you a little more pressure?
It's a good slot, the opening act. That's good.
They're all watching then.
Yeah.
All right. When they open up the card, they open up the envelope.
Yeah.
Truth. You expect to win?
I'm not saying. I don't want to jinx myself.
All right. Who's the one you worried about the most?
Who's my...
If you couldn't vote for you, who would you vote for? Album of the year.
Oh, that's a tough one. Tell me what the nominees are.
I don't know. I don't have them in front of me.
Probably Lauryn Hill. She's my competition, I think, and she's amazing.
For record of the year too.
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia, for Madonna. Hello.
Hello, Madonna. If your daughter Lourdes was old enough, would you allow her to work as an intern in the White House under Bill Clinton?
If she was old enough,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Especially
Wow.
now, right? You'd be safe. Is that what you would figure?
Oh well, my
Well-
daughter would not. My daughter would just never get involved with a married man because I'd kill her if she did.
Were you ever involved with a married man?
No,
Was that like a hard and fast rule?
never get involved with a man who's involved with someone else. Yeah.
You couldn't be second place anyway.
No,
could you?
no.
We'll be back with our remaining moments with Madonna on Larry King Live. Don't go away. We're back on Larry King Live with Madonna. I know of your active involvement in the AIDS, fight against AIDS, but you're also into a New York City charity, Opus, right? What is that?
Oh, well, that is an organization that was started by a woman called Roberta Gaspari Tavares. Maybe I said that wrong. Roberta, did I say that right? Who's an incredible woman that I've gotten to know this past year. She teaches violin to kids in several schools in the inner city, and she's been actively involved in campaigning to raise money so that kids can enjoy learning about art and music in schools. And unfortunately, because of all the cutbacks and in the public school systems, that's the first thing to go. And personally, my belief is that music and art is the most important thing to teach a child. So,
Atlanta, Georgia. Hello.
Hello. I lost my mother when I was very young, and I'm now raising children. I know that Madonna also lost her mother when she was young, and I'm wondering what difference does she think it might have made in how she's now raising her child?
Good question.
what difference it would have made to have had a mother?
Yeah, do you think, and now that you know that your mother was how old?
She was 31.
You've outlived her by 9 years, and you have
Yeah.
a child, and she had 8 children.
Yeah. Well, she had 6. My father remarried, but I mean, it's hard for me to say how it would be if my mother had lived. I'm sure I would be very different. And I think to a certain extent, I think that people that grow up, girls that grow up without mothers, tend to try even harder to kind of make up for what they didn't have. And I think they make very good parents.
When you lose a parent young, I've had it happen. My father died.
Yeah.
There's always something like missing.
Yes, you walk around with a big hole inside of you,
Yeah.
a feeling of emptiness and longing that, I think a lot of times that's why you become an overachiever. I mean, just trying to fill up.
It's got to show.
Yeah,
Are you close with brothers and sisters?
yeah.
Your family keeps in touch. There
Oh
hasn't
yeah,
been separation.
definitely.
Do your big brothers?
They all tortured me over the holidays.
Do your big brothers? Are they still your kind of look up to them?
Well, My big brothers, you know, they've had an interesting influence, especially my oldest brother. I mean, he totally like turned me on to the most kind of subversive things when I was a child. You know, like
Political thing?
well, no, he got like I became a vegetarian because of my oldest brother. He used to like he introduced me to Charles Bukowski and Richard Brautigan and
Oh, Poland.
you know, I mean, they were into the whole like, you know, LSD, drug culture, Mahavishnu Orchestra. You know, I mean, I completely. I mean, I was really frightened by them, but completely enamored of them as well. And they've both lived very adventurous lives.
Still do?
Yeah.
How about your sisters?
I'm very close to a couple of my sisters. I'm actually close to all of my sisters, particularly my one sister who lives in Los Angeles, and she has children, and she had children before me. And
You're a good aunt.
I'd like to think so.
Is she happily married?
She's happily married. She has an incredible family, and she's a great role model for me, even though she's my younger sister.
You win the Grammy. Let's say you win the Grammy. I predict.
Please
Your
don't.
lips to God. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
You really want to win that, right? Well, by the way, it's no baloney. Why not want to
Why
win?
not? Exactly. Of course I
Any
want to win.
concert tour coming
Yes.
this year?
Yeah, Your Lips to God.
Are you going to have one? Or?
Yeah.
And what about another movie?
Yeah, I'm going to do a movie in April. Yeah, April, and a couple of months, and then I'm going to rehearse to go on tour. And then I'll probably play up until the millennium, New Year's Eve.
What's the movie?
The movie's called The Next Best Thing with Rupert Everett. It's my
Rupert,
co-star.
I love him.
Yeah, isn't he great?
Love you too. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so